Have you ever felt like something was shifting inside you, but you couldn't quite explain it to anyone else? Like this deep inner feeling like, I know I'm made for more, but how the heck do I actually make that leap? If you're nodding yes, I've got good news. You're not behind, you're being called. Hey there, I'm Brittney Tollinchi, former corporate high achiever turned purpose driven business coach, speaker, and creator of the Purpose Driven Business Launchpad. And this is The Call, a 4-part series designed to help you clarify your calling, overcome fear, and take your next aligned step with confidence. Because stepping out of your comfort zone, actually practicing some real faith and trusting yourself to take this leap, it just might be the toughest part of this life transition that you have had placed at your feet. And in today's session, we're starting right where most people get stuck, and that's connecting with the whisper. That quiet nudge that says you were made for something more, but it does not come with a blueprint. So let's talk about what that whisper really means and how to start listening and connecting with it. First, we have to recognize that the whisper, it's a sign of growth, not necessarily confusion. Most people start to think that when they feel like this unsettling feeling, that it means something's wrong. But what if that unrest is actually divine guidance getting your attention to say, hey, it's time to pivot. Hey, it's time to grow. I felt this unrest myself. It was about a year and a half before I would leave my high profile corporate job to pursue a whisper that had been placed on my own heart. There I was on a drive from Denver to Kansas City, and I found myself crying the entire 8-hour drive in this emotional release that I didn't even know I needed. You see, I had been doing all of the high achiever things on overdrive. I checked all the boxes of success on paper: degree, marriage, kids, money in the bank, good job, all the things. But I found myself asking this question, what is this all for? And the longer I sat with this question, I felt the discontent of the hamster wheel life I had been living when I had dreamed up of, right? But this like work, eat, sleep, repeat. And I demanded an answer. What is this all for? Over the next 18 months, I would walk myself through the very things that we're going to talk about in this video series so that I could confidently walk away from that great job, put down the hamster wheel life, and create space for exactly what was meant for me to find me. And it sure did. Just to give you a glimpse, over the next 12 months, I would become a best-selling author, a paid keynote speaker, a podcast host. I developed my signature coaching program, helping others start their purpose-driven businesses too. And while I love all of that work when someone finally decides that they are ready to open and own their own business, I know that I would have never been able to do the same if I hadn't first sat with that unrest, leaned into the whisper, and done some really deep inner work to overcome that resistance and that fear and to actually leap into a greater calling. I know you can do this too. It starts here. That ache for something more isn't you being ungrateful or scattered. It's actually you being invited into a new season. That whisper, it doesn't scream necessarily. Like, it's not always loud. A lot of times it's subtle. And it shows up in ways like, for instance, maybe the job that drains you more than it should, or maybe the side project that you can't stop thinking about, or maybe it's conversations that light you up or conversations that don't light you up all of a sudden, kind of that sudden disinterest in things maybe that used to capture your attention. Or for me, maybe you're asking yourself the same question of like, what is this all for? Or is this really it? The second thing I want you to know about this whisper is that the whisper comes before the clarity. You don't get the full picture first. You get an invitation, and that invitation will ask for your attention before it gives you the details. It's like a save the date for an upcoming event where you get the date, just enough information that you have to put it on your calendar, maybe a location, but that's it. This whisper is trying to say, hey, I've got something planned. Are you coming? If you're feeling unsure but stirred, then just know you're right on time and you're being asked to faithfully just say yes. The clarity is going to come later because clarity is the byproduct of obedience. It doesn't come in the brainstorm, it comes in the motion of it all. The third thing I want to share, just as like an encouragement regarding this whisper, is that you're not alone and you're definitely not crazy. When I left my thriving, award winning career, like it wasn't because I had a complete plan on the other side. I had general intuitions and I just kept showing up and creating space for the whisper to lead me into action. And then the more that I leaned in, the more that that whisper turned into a roar that I couldn't ignore. And what I've been learning working with clients through this process is that the whisper does not go away. You will have this feeling, this nudge until you take action on it. Some folks will spend their lifetime trying to push the whisper down, but they will still tell you on their deathbed that they wish they would have taken the chance, or they wish they would have started the business that they thought about for decades, or they wish they would have moved their family, or wish they would have made the phone call. That whisper, those nudges, they're meant for us. It doesn't go away. It either gets louder and turns into that undeniable roar, or you just keep getting better at piling more stuff over the top of it in hopes that maybe something else can distract you from it. Just know you're not the only one feeling this, and you're not making it up. You're not alone in carrying this deep inner nudge. The whisper is real and it's meant for you as an invitation. So, what does it actually look like to connect with the whisper? Because I'm all about the how do we actually do this. Here are 3 things that I recommend starting today. The first thing is I want you to make space for it. That might look like journaling, silent walks, just putting your phone down for 10 minutes, like anything that creates stillness and reflection time, because the whisper cannot compete with constant noise. The second thing, get curious about it. This is my favorite part of it, actually, is that you get to get curious about, like, what is this nudge? What is trying to happen here? Don't pressure yourself to figure it all out. Just start by asking questions like, what's been tugging at me lately? What am I feeling drawn to? What am I potentially outgrowing? And then the third thing is I want you to give your whisper a yes, even if it's a soft yes. You don't need a business plan. You don't need all the details that accompany this save the date invitation. Just simply say, okay, God, okay, universe, okay, inner nudge, like whatever you're saying, okay, I'm listening and I want to know more. That simple yes is how clarity starts forming. You don't have to know everything. You just have to stop ignoring what you already feel. I'll leave this with you today. If you've been hearing that whisper, if you know something is shifting, but you don't know what comes next, that's what this series is for. And to help you walk through it, I created a free guide that goes deeper into each part of the call framework. Connect with the whisper, acknowledge the inner resistance, listen for alignment, and then live it out loud. So you can download it right now at the link in the notes, and be sure to check out the next session too, where we're going to talk all about what's keeping you stuck and actually naming the resistance that's blocking your next step. Just remember, you don't need the full plan. You need clarity, alignment, and one faithful step forward, and it starts within. You've got this.